People used to think Daniel was private by nature. Quiet, reserved, hard to read. What they didn't know was that it wasn't who he was. It was who he had learned to be. For a long time, Daniel shared everything. Not in a loud way, just enough to feel connected. He talked about his plans while they were still forming. He explained his decisions before he had even made them. He answered questions he didn't owe answers to, just to keep the atmosphere comfortable. He thought openness meant honesty. He thought explaining himself meant maturity. But slowly, something started to feel off. Every time he left a conversation, he felt drained. Not because people were cruel, but because they had opinions, advice, reactions, doubts. Someone always had a better way. Someone always needed clarification. Someone always wanted more context. And without realizing it, Daniel kept handing over pieces of his piece in exchange for approval, understanding, or reassurance. It wasn't one big moment that changed things. It was a series of small ones. Like the time he mentioned a new opportunity he was excited about, only to spend the rest of the week defending why it made sense to him. Or the time he shared a personal boundary and it turned into debate instead of being respected. Or the time his excitement started to shrink, not because the plans weren't good, but because the conversations around them made everything heavier. That's when it hit him. Not everyone needs access to your inner world. Not every thought needs a witness. Not every decision needs to be processed out loud. Daniel began to notice something about people he admired. They weren't secretive. They weren't cold. They were selective. They spoke when it mattered. They shared when it was safe. They moved quietly without announcing every step. And most importantly, they seemed calm, grounded, unbothered by outside noise. So Daniel tried something new. He stopped explaining himself to people who were committed to misunderstanding him. He stopped narrating his growth in real time. He stopped filling silence just to avoid awkwardness. When someone asked questions that felt invasive, he answered simply, or not at all. When someone offered opinions he didn't ask for, he listened without absorbing them. When something mattered deeply to him, he held it close instead of handing it out too early. At first, it felt uncomfortable. He worried people would think he'd changed, that he was distant, that he was hiding something. But something else happened. He slept better. He second-guessed himself less. He felt steady in a way he hadn't before. The fewer people who knew his plans, the fewer voices lived in his head. The less he shared prematurely, the more confident he felt moving forward. Daniel realized something important. Peace isn't lost in dramatic moments. It's given away in small conversations where you overextend yourself. Discretion wasn't about being guarded. It was about being intentional, about knowing that your inner life deserves protection, that not everything sacred needs to be exposed to scrutiny, that you don't owe access just because someone asked. There's a quiet strength in keeping some things just for you. Your hopes, your healing, your next steps. Because when you stop giving your peace away, you start walking differently. You move with clarity instead of defensiveness. You act from confidence instead of explanation. You choose silence, not because you're afraid, but because you're secure. And that kind of power doesn't announce itself. It settles in. It steadies you. It changes the way you show up in the world. Together, let's move from doubt to power, one story at a time.